Yo, House of Dragon, episode 6, spoilers. I don't know if I'm going to be in the minority or the majority on my thoughts on this episode, but I will say that I like this episode. I did not love this episode. I would have loved this episode if this episode were 5 episodes long. I feel like up to episode 6 of House of Dragon, I've seen 10 seasons of TV crammed into 6 episodes. Everything is happening so fast. It's like all this stuff is amazing. I wish I knew these characters more, and I wish I got to spend more time with these characters so that I could care more. When, I believe his name is Harwin, but the Lord Commander dude, who's the actual father to Rhaenyra's children, dies at the end and is killed, and so is his father. Like, that seemed pretty awesome and very important to the story. I wish I was 100% sure what the dude's name was, because I know he was just the Lord Commander. I don't know the Lord Commander of what. I know he was Rhaenyra's kids' names. I'm not sure what his name was. The Hand? Who died? The Hand to the King? I don't know what his name was. I wish I knew these characters that all this crazy great stuff was happening to. These kills are awesome. These things that are happening are awesome. But I don't even know the names of the characters because so much is happening so fast. This could have been like, I thought the final season of Game of Thrones was rushed. This first season of House of Dragon feels like it's 10 seasons crammed into one. We jump 10 years later. Rhaenyra and Alicent have grown much colder than they were in their previous selves 10 years before, but I guess that's also expected to happen given the circumstances of how they're living. My main takeaways of this episode: Viserys is still alive. That to me is the single greatest thing about this episode. If you saw my video last week, I was like, Viserys died, it was so tragic, he face planted at the wedding and he's done, and I'm like, Viserys was my favorite character. Sad to see him go. The next episode, biggest shock. Viserys is still fucking alive. He's got one arm. He's still happy. He's still a good dude, and he's still my favorite character. So glad to see Viserys. It's sad we never saw Otto again. Otto was another one of my favorite characters, but I guess he ran his ship. I really love Laenor. I love that he truly loved Joffrey, and he always loved Joffrey, and he named this newest kid Joffrey. I like that he's just like partying and drinking and fucking this dude Carl with a Q, and he's just like, I'm avoiding the storm. Fuck the storm. I don't want to be a part of any of this drama. Like, I'm just on the sidelines. Like, I like that. Some people might think like, oh, he's being a coward because he's not, at the front of it. But he's like, fuck that drama. I'm hanging out by myself with Carl. And when Rhaenyra's like, we gotta go to whatever the fuck, but she's like, you can bring him. That was so sweet of her. And Laenor and Carl just like give each other a nod, like, fuck yeah, we're going. The dragon scene was really cool, even though I didn't know who those kids were when I was watching the kids in the dragon pit. I like later found out, I was like, oh, that was Rhaenyra and Alicent's kids. But at first I had no fucking idea who these kids were. But I saw this one kid going down in a tunnel, and I thought that cave scene, I kind of wish it lasted little bit longer, where the kids in the dark underground tunnels with the dragons, because that was like straight out of that would be a super sick horror movie. I wish that scene lasted longer, but that scene was cool. The kid jerking off out the window was crazy. The biggest tragedy of this episode, I think, is the relationship between Daemon and Laena. Seemed like it could have been one of the coolest relationships on the entire show. They're an interracial couple, which I really love. I mean, Rhaenyra and Laenor are an interracial couple, but they're not really a couple. Daemon and Laena were awesome. They're flying dragons side by side. Everything about them was cool. But like I said with this show, it keeps introducing me to these characters that seem really cool and killing them the same episode. I only know Laena's name because I wrote it down. This was the first episode that I like had to take notes because so much was happening every 2 minutes, like crazy shit was happening. So I had to take notes. I don't even think I took enough notes. But Laena and Daemon seem like an awesome relationship. I would have loved to have that explored way more. So when she does have that great scene where she's trying to get her own dragon to kill her, and she keeps saying Dracarys, and the dragon doesn't want to do it because he has this emotional bond to her, I wish we could have all felt that more as an audience if we really love Laena as a character. But we only met Laena as a character this episode. This seems like something that should have, if this would have been a death scene after seasons of TV, and this is how one of our favorite characters for years is going out. Like, we would have all been talking about that. But instead, it's just like another thing that happened in a jam-packed episode of crazy things happening to characters that we just met. Even Rhaenyra and Viserys and Alicent, we just met these characters in my opinion. We're only on episode 6 of House of the Dragon, and now they feel like the vets to all these other characters that are dying because we just met them this episode, like the Hand of the King, like the Lord Commander dude, like Laena. I know we saw her for a second the last episode, but still. The Dracarys scene was awesome and was crazy, and I love the emotion that Dragon was going through. I just wish that we knew the character who was getting torched, and we knew the dragon. I wish we knew them both a bit more. I wish we knew more about the relationships between the dragons and the Targaryens or the Velaryons. I wish we knew the relationship more between the two of them. It's House of the Dragon, and we need to see more dragon bonding or dragon relationship building. Sir Criston Cole looks even younger than he did before. Rhaenyra looks way older, and the actress that they got to play Alicent looks so good. Like, their casting was great for the 10 years later thing. Viserys looks old as fuck now, but what do you expect with his sicknesses? He's aging at twice the rate of anyone else. But that's my thoughts on episode 6. I liked it. I didn't love it. I thought it was a great season of TV, jam-packed into one episode that felt rushed, and I wish I got to explore all the characters that died more. I wish the Daemon and Laena relationship happened longer. One of my biggest problems with this show is that it feels rushed. Even though I am loving this show, I just feel like it feels a bit rushed. I love House of the Dragon. I just wish it had slowed down. This first season should have been 7 seasons long. Etsy.com/shop/evil broomstick. Buy yourself a hand-painted horror hat. I have Friday the 13th hats, Ghostface hats, Stranger Things hats, Babadook hats, all types of horror hats. Check it out. Buy yourself one. Peace.